to the Living Above the Noise podcast, where we're reclaiming family life for the intentional Christian mom. Do you wonder how others make marriage and parenting look so easy? How they keep their home organized and clean? Most of us weren't born skilled at great relationships or perfect home management. But at the end of your journey, I'm sure you want to feel good about your family life. You want a strong marriage, and you certainly want kids who can stand alone in a confusing world, who can think for themselves and stay true to their faith. You want a home that's comfortable and welcoming. Well, in this podcast, I'm following the Titus 2 example where Paul exhorts the older women to teach the younger women to love their husbands, to love their children, and to manage their home well. But the caveat at the end of that verse reminds us the purpose of living this way, so that the Word of God will not be dishonored. Now that I'm the older woman, I've decided to take this seriously. I want to equip you to think and live biblically, to offer inspiration to step into your life as wife, mom, and home manager. Together, we'll discover the beautiful possibilities for marriage, family, and home life, all for God's glory. And now a bit about me. I'm Terry Covey, mom of 10 adults and grandmomma to soon-to-be 23 little people. I've been married for 43 years and homeschooled for 30, so I have lots of hard-won lessons to help you find joy in this tiring and oftentimes confusing job of being mom. Whether you're not a mom yet, have one child or a dozen, stick around as we discuss blending traditional with outside-the-box ideas for family life, for raising kids who are capable of standing on their own and thinking for themselves in a world that's easy to get lost in. Life takes us on a journey, and the best plan is to be staunch in your beliefs, yet flexible in your growth and the seasons of your life. I'll share how you can discover and embrace your God-given values and unique identity and personality. And while these are important to understand and work with, think of them like the path to get you where you need to go rather than the focus. The focus is actually God's plan for His future generations and His glory. God has a plan, and as much as we don't always like it, it's not just for our happiness. It's for His glory. And even when it's not easy, it's certainly for our good. It's for His kingdom and His future. And this is where having an intentional family life comes in, to raise up those souls He's entrusted to you for His purposes and to help them know Him. Now that's your most important work. It's really important to remember daily that God isn't looking for perfection. As Christians, we know Jesus took care of that. But in your daily life, where the rubber meets the road, that's where you learn to trust and obey and grow, right alongside your husband and your kids, when you walk and when you sit and when you eat together. Slow growth with long-term benefits. What you'll find about me is that I'm a big picture person, and to be a big picture person, you have to get out of the weeds and all the details to rise up above them. Thus the name Living Above the Noise. You've got to see where you're headed and what the whole picture looks like. We'll talk about those details, but we'll try to keep the big picture in mind. You'll also find I'm passionate about raising kids to be independent thinkers and problem solvers. In a world that's given over to computers and instant everything, we need to raise adults who can step back, take notice, and make the world a better place. Adults who can work hard, think for themselves and outside the cultural norms, problem solve, and most important, love their neighbor well. So on this podcast, you'll find food for thought, stories, lessons, and tips and tricks for a more calm but also a fun home life, a family life that takes those little souls and grows with them into adulthood. I'll interview some of my kids and other moms as they offer perspective on what they loved or didn't, and ideas that work for them and their families. And the best part of why I'm here? To help you find ways to celebrate home and the simply imperfect beauty of family, the way God intended it. If parenting is such a hard job, then my goodness, let's make it fun where we can. And remember, my new friend, in the middle of your exhaustion and what feels like chaos, in the middle of your worry and wondering, and believe me, there will be lots of wondering, God is there. This isn't an empty platitude. This is true hope, because He has a plan, and you're smack in the middle of it. With courage and thought and a lot of hard work, you can live into your calling as a wife, mom, and home manager. You can raise independent thinkers who are productive adults while having great relationships and joy along the way. 3 John chapter 1, verse 4 says, "I have no greater joy than to hear that my children are walking in the truth." In our fast-paced world, it's so easy to keep moving and forget to look at your whys of life. We just keep on keeping on without really testing the results. But 3 John reminds us of what this will all feel like in your future. And I'm here to help you do just that, to light a fire and shake things up a bit. Remember, you're leaving a legacy, raising and influencing future generations. And so stand tall, Mama. You can do this. There truly is freedom in living above the noise.